It seems like once again Microsoft has confirmed that they are still looking for new studios to purchase and have become part of the Microsoft Game Studios family, and obviously put out exclusive content for Microsoft and the Xbox and things like that. So with that being said, I've always been saying that, you know, the events are cool, right? But the after interviews are always way more interesting. And so I figured that I would talk about this particular interview with Mr. Matt Booty, the head of Microsoft Game Studios. Obviously, people have been critical of Microsoft's lack of first-party content lately, and rightly so, let's be honest. It's been an 18-month drought, to say the least. I mean, not to say that we haven't got games, but I think when people say Xbox has no games, what they obviously, hopefully they mean is they haven't had any, like, AAA first-party type exclusives in a while, although, you know, Forza and things like that. Depends on what you really consider to be AAA, but I digress. You know, it's still fun to see people say that Xbox has no games when I'm sitting there with over 600. But once again, back onto the topic, he was doing an interview, and he was talking about what type of studio he wants to buy, right? This was a great interview, and of course I will link it in the description below. You fine people can take a look at it and let me know what you think. He explained that they weren't acquiring studios simply to fill out some kind of list that they had. He says, I don't want to seem like we're going to fill a quota. It's not about filling spreadsheets by any means. We have an interest in studios right now that fit this criteria of 50 to 100 people who are making games on a 2 to 3 year cadence, and we have content that we think will fit into Game Pass. When he was talking about you know, just having that kind of option, and why they bought Ninja Theory, for instance, he says, we started looking at studios that are built around creative leads and people. An amazing thing about Ninja Theory is that it is very clear that the studio orbits ideas around creativity, and the character storytelling and settings really come first for them. That really just meshes well with our desire to provide our players, especially those in Game Pass, with content that is new, unique, has variety, and sits outside of the stuff we're doing with our bigger franchises. It's telling right now really how Booty's using Game Pass, and you know, rather than Xbox One. Basically, it means they have a real interest in Game Pass going forward as being their future and things like that. I think that it's very clear that Microsoft is serious about putting a lot of content and more content out for Xbox fans, Xbox owners, Game Pass subscribers, and things like that. You know, it's a lot of fun to see them kind of actually come out there and do this, and say that they're looking for teams of 50 to 100 people in a 2 to 3 year span. So they want games to come out every 2 to 3 years from these developers, and I think that's key, because I think their idea is you have a certain amount that are going to come out every year that way, depending on when they're into the fold of Xbox Studios and things like that. And you know, it's very cool to see that kind of happen, and hopefully we do get that, you know, because, you know, we're getting Gears every 2 to 3 years, Halo every 2 to 3 years, Forza every 2 years, and I think that that's something that we need more of. You know, hopefully they bring back Killer Instinct as well, because I think that'd be a great game to actually be in Game Pass. Like I said, I will link this. If you guys wouldn't mind, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Hit that bell so you're notified of the content as soon as possible. And thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.